I just recently did a project where I had to come up with a commercial campaign for a weather app. The one catch was that I needed to make this entirely from stock footage. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an art director and I freelance for ad agencies and brands to come up with campaigns. Right now in like the filmmaking and advertising industry, the giant ad campaigns with a huge team is very much so romanticized. As an art director, sometimes you don't have that budget and you really need to be scrappy and efficient and able to create a story even if you don't have the resources to go out and film everything. I just recently did a project where I had to come up with a commercial campaign for a weather app at the company that I work at. The one catch was that I needed to make this entirely from stock footage. This isn't an ad for the stock footage I used, but more so opening up a conversation about the behind the scenes process of what I did to execute this, as well as if it's even possible to create a commercial like this. So right now, I'm just gonna break down my entire process for creating this commercial only using stock footage from start to finish.
We get it. Not everyone loves winter, but maybe it's not all bad. So whether you're a midday napper, after-school winter warrior, dinner party host, or last-minute canceller, there's an app that keeps you prepared for any winter weather. Climb. Weather together.
The app I'm making this ad for is called Climb. It's a severe weather app alert system, but it functions just as like any other app. Typically what happens when I'm starting a project like this, I go into a kickoff call with strategy or my marketing team. And in that call, they told me they want to prepare a new winter themed TV ad and test it in December and January. With how that brand shows up, they show severe weather notifications like hurricanes and tsunamis and tornadoes and whatever else. And they use that as a way to leverage their creative to show people how to be prepared when severe weather comes. I wanted to steer away from that. I wanted to completely steer away from this severe anxiety-inducing concept, and I wanted to lean into how the weather can help you be prepared for the special moments during the winter season. When I'm trying to find inspiration, the first thing I do is look at a backlog of links that I have saved. So I have folders for inspiration, and that could be either through Instagram, finding something that I like and saving it. It could be on YouTube, it could be on Vimeo, it could be on Behance. And there's a lot of other resources you can use, but those are the ones I think I use the most often. The team that I had accessible to me was animators, designers, and then the stock footage. So I had to find inspiration that I thought only used those three things in order to create a commercial. Airbnb made this campaign just recently, and pretty much it just has lifestyle imagery of people at a lake house or people at a beach. And it encompasses the emotion of the moment that you're feeling. And while these images are popping up on the screen one by one, you hear the dial tone of someone calling. And it eventually leads to a voicemail where it says the person you're trying to call is no longer available. And again, that just steers into the storytelling of when you book an Airbnb, you're not accessible because you're experiencing something amazing. This was just a 15-second commercial with just images. And that is the beauty of advertising. This was such a simple concept of the imagery playing, but it had such a large impact with the silence and the peace and the stunningness of the images that while watching it, you kind of took a pause and really leaned into hearing it and comprehending what was happening. I took pieces of kinetic type and stop motion to be able to show my team how we can piece this together and tell a story without it being super complex. So when I opened up Figma, I created this process for me to be able to hand off and show the team what I'm thinking. And that starts with initial concepts and ideas, the inspiration links, which you'll see here. Then I developed this mood board. What's important here is showcasing the elements that I love. So in this corner here, we see we are not just talking about it, and then these cuts, there's kinetic type happening. I love this overlay here. Treat our planet the way it deserves. How we're emphasizing things, how you can use stock footage. I know that is stock footage, and how it can still be visually pleasing. And then lastly, in these elements up here, save everything you want, the app here, and then this get notified alerts. That is something I want my animation team to focus on, because where weather app, we have alerts, we have notifications. There's a lot of UI elements that we have that we want to showcase throughout this commercial. And being able to animate alerts and keep it moving and fun and engaging was super important. So this was the initial mood board. I comped some of the UI that we have just on top of a winter weather scene, because I know we're focusing on winter. And then from there, we went on to writing the script. So when we initially write the script, that story is meant to carry the scene before we pull the visuals. So I'll work with a copywriter. I'll explain to him what my vision is, but I'm not a creative writer. So I tell him, hey, I want to capture this energy of Christmas and of the holidays, and I want to show festivity. I want to show people, so that we start brainstorming and coming up with how this plays out. What's amazing about having a copywriter is they're able to really immerse you into the scene with what's happening, the sounds that are happening, how's someone feeling, if there's music, what type of music is playing in the background as it rises. So in this case, I'll just read really briefly just the beginning part. Open on a girl lounging on the couch. Her phone notification goes off and there's a winter weather warning. We get it. Not everyone loves winter. Quick cuts between a montage of grueling winter scenes, sound effects of winter elements like howling wind, icicles freezing, and snow-covered trees swaying. A voiceover comes in, we cut to someone sweeping off their car, and the voiceover says, but maybe it's not all that bad. Quick cuts to warm, cackling fires, hot, whistling, boiling water, and kitchen cooking timer going off. As a timer dings, cut to the table, full of festive food with ambient noise of friendly chatter. I'll stop right there. So now you're getting a feel, and that's the importance of the copywriter. They're able to give you a sense of what this feels like. Just from that script read, you're able to showcase your idea to the team you're presenting to. And here's a few visuals that I pulled for the team to read alongside the script so that they understand what it feels like. And the overarching theme for this was, no matter where this winter takes you, you'll be prepared. Now that the script is done, I go into laying out this script with the storyboard. And all I'm doing is essentially sourcing stock footage from Adobe Stock, from ArtGrid, from all these different sites to see which best fits for what we have. Now we're going to go into the storyboard. I'm going to show you the 30-second spot that I came up with, and we also break it down to the 16-second spot. So this is how I lay it out. You can see I take the script and put it underneath the thumbnails that I took, the screenshots that I took of each clip that I thought that worked for this. Then with every single clip, I linked in the link to the clip so that my team, when I hand it off to them, they can download it. I have screenshots of some of the UI elements that I want to incorporate. So like when the notification goes off, we want to incorporate notification that would come up from the app. Then when the weather elements happen, we want to showcase notifications or weather elements that are in the app again. Like if it's snowing, are there flurries? Is there a temperature? Is there wind moving? All these pieces are super important. So I start to piece this script together, and you can see how it comes along. There's the kitchen timer going off. There's the festive hands, and I'm leaving some notes here and there throughout this. Then we start to really cut in the pace of this montage of this idea of the festive joy that comes from the holidays. And you see a dog sleeping on the floor, exhausted. A midday napper after a good meal. The after school winter warriors. You have these kids playing. It tells you the feels like temperature. And then the accumulation of the snowfall, because kids love the snow days. And then the last but not least, it's a dinner party chef, dinner party host, a group of people, again, targeting this demographic of kids, young adults, adults. We wanted to hit everyone in this concept. We didn't want to just be specific to a tiny little audience. Then lastly, we cut back to the girl, and it ends on her still on the couch, sending a text on her phone, or last minute canceler. There's an app that keeps you prepared for winter weather. And then we just have the end card come up, climb, weather together. This is the final storyboard here that I'm showing you, and you can see how it may have changed a tiny bit with just the pacing after I'm reviewing with the team and animators to make sure that everything can fit. We also decided to put in like UI elements of text messages being sent, and putting in the tagline underneath the logo here at the end. So that is the process of building a commercial from stock footage. This is the first time I've ever done it, but I really loved being challenged in that way to create a compelling story. As far as like the revisions and everything goes, I worked hand in hand with the animation team because there were some like elements that were missing. For example, I wanted the kitchen timer and the coffee pot to match up a little bit more. And then also where you hear the ding, like ding, that could also be the cheers of when we cut to the people cheersing at the table. So we can have those sounds sync up rather than have a kitchen timer ding and then a glass ding. Make them the same. So those little elements in art direction I think are super important. And yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. I went into a lot of detail, but maybe I missed some pieces. It's awesome to see that we're at a stage in the creative world that we can source stock footage and good stock footage, that it feels like a film and it feels like a commercial production that you shot on your own and with a team rather than just downloading clips. So I think that's super cool. Let me know if you like this breakdown and seeing this process, and I'll see you guys on another day. Peace.